So for the first time in the save, we are moving to a club that have actually had recent success in this game universe. We are, of course, now at Arsenal. And, well, we've got a bit to live up to. If I just quickly show you, you can see that in terms of what they've done in the save, they've been pretty good. Champions League, they've got to 2 finals since we started the save. Once in 2027 when they went all the way and won the whole thing, and then once again in 2029. We can see Premier League wise, they've added 2 to their total. In those 2 years, 2027 and 2029, they were runner-up in 2024, 2026 and 2030. So they've also come very, very close. We know about the 2031. We're the ones who stopped them from winning it. They won the Club World Cup in 2029, and just looking down all of the other history as well. FA Cup, they won that in 2027, got to the final in 25 and 29. Yeah, they've had a lot of success. They've also won the Football League trophy in 2030. I don't quite know how that is a thing. I'm assuming that's one of our youth teams who've done that. We've done a few youth things as well, to be fair, but none of that is really important, and you can't see it because my head's in the way anyway. My point being, they're a very, very successful team, and we're going to be expected to maintain that success going forward rather than hopefully trying to bring some. No pressure then. Hi there, how you doing? Welcome to part number 1 of Club 4 of the MyCareer save here on Football Manager. My name is Stu. Thank you for joining me in today's video, where we are going to properly kick things off with Arsenal, with 2 very difficult games. It didn't get any easier than this. It's Liverpool and then Manchester City, because the world hates us. But if you're excited to see how we get on in the opening of this first season with our brand new club, then don't forget to leave a big like on the video for me, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's completely free to do so, and you put a big smile on this face right here. Probably will need one after these 2 games. So, yeah, start of the season is a bit of a wild one, as you can see. We have Liverpool first at Anfield, followed by Manchester City visiting us. I don't know of a worse start. I don't know of a worse 4 games, to be honest with you. Liverpool, Man City, Spurs and Manchester United. That's horrid. By the way, Tottenham, who beat our Wolves side in the Champions League semi-final last season, just to confirm, runners-up in 2030, did not get the job done. They did the Spurs. So, yeah, they're still going to be a threat, though. That is a horrible 4 games to open the season with, including that derby there. Of course, everyone already knows this, I'm sure. But if we go to rivalries, you can see North London derby. That's a big one. And we've also got the competitive derby against Liverpool. And then... I'd have liked a slightly easier start, I'm not going to lie, but obviously that's not what we're going to get. But before we actually get into the game, we also need to have a look at what we've done in terms of transfers. So let's just go through them and let's see what we've done. The first signing I made was someone who I was actually looking for at Wolves. Now, on paper, this is not a very good signing. However, this is a signing that's got squad depth all over it. Alfie McRae, scouted at Wolves, he looked incredible, but we didn't know what his star rating was. But just in terms of what he was doing at Celtic, he was looking great. Admittedly, his match ratings aren't particularly good, but he just looks really good in terms of looking at his attributes. Now, he is only a 2.5-star player, got the potential to be a 3-star player, but 22 caps already for Scotland. I thought, let's take a punt on him as a squad player. We were going to do it at Wolves. We've decided to do it here. And do you know what? In pre-season, he's looked pretty good. I'm just going to move that light in the background there, just down a bit. There we go. He looked really good. So I've signed him mainly because he didn't cost us a lot of money. £9.5 million for a backup playmaker in the centre of midfield. Bargain. I'll take that all day long. And he can play as an emergency striker if we need it as well. He's also a decent header of the ball and got a good long shot on him. I love a good long shot. So I'm absolutely fine with all of that. I then went to sign this guy from Birmingham City, centre-back for the future, Tom Laskowski. He's come in and, well, again, good pre-season. I think he'll be good for the future. He is more of a future player, but I thought let's just get him in and let's get him some first-team experience this season. Why the devil not? And we signed him for a total of $14.5 million. Again, another bargain, but this time it's for a bona fide wonder kid. Did hurt me a little bit signing a Birmingham City player. I'm sure I'll get over it. So he's in. Then we signed another youngster who, I've just made all of his things disappear there. There we go. Marko Tokic. He is a Croatian international at the age of 20 years old. Not a wonder kid necessarily, but plenty of potential. 2.5 stars. He's a right back. He can play as a right winger. He's apparently a little bit better as a right winger. I will not be using him as that. I'll be using him as a right back. But I think he's going to be one for the future. Again, someone we'd probably ideally want to send out on loan, but I've got no issue with putting him in the first team. And again, only cost us 9 million. We went with a couple of bargain youngsters to begin with. And then I signed my boy. If you watch the Wolves part of the save, you'll be very familiar with Noah Darvic because he did wonderful things for us in in fact, it wasn't even 1.5 seasons. It was half the season there, half the season there. Look at those 2 periods. He was incredible for us. And then he's gone to Real Madrid. And, well, he's not been terrible, but they have made a loss on him. But I'm delighted to have him again in pre-season. He's looked sharp. We're not going to be using the same system where we had the 3 attacking midfielders at Wolves, so he is going to have to get used to centre mid, but he looks good in centre mid again in those pre-season friendlies. I then signed this guy, another Croatian international, Luka Martoka, who is a defensive midfielder, again, with the future in mind. This one is a wonder kid, and I think he could be pretty sensational as well. And again, only 10 million spent on him. So far, the only big signing has been Noah Darvic. That does change, though. And it doesn't change, however, with Raul Iglesias. We've signed him as an attacking midfielder. He's a Mexican international. He is currently out on loan at his club Chivas. So we're not going to see him straight away. Again, signing someone for the future. I don't know whether he did initially come up as a wonder kid, but he looks good. He's one of those. If we end up selling him on for a profit, we sell him on for a profit because, again, £8 million, barely anything spent on him. And then we spent some more money, this time on a goalkeeper, because we desperately needed a goalkeeper. We've signed Rome Jaden Owusu-Aduro. He is a one-time Netherlands international, looks a really good goalkeeper, though. Scout better than James Trafford, who I did also look at, but we did spend a number of pennies on him. We did have to use instalments on some of these transfers, but Arsenal did not have much money spent on instalments already, so I'm quite okay with that. But we beat Liverpool to his signature. Very happy to get him through the door. Then we signed Joel Harto, centre-back, can play as a left-back. I've seen this guy in FM. I've never actually used him before, so quite glad to get my hands on him for once. And I think he's going to be a solid partner at the back to Saliba. We've got a decent centre-back selection now, but we needed to get the age down a little bit. At 25 years old, this guy is going to help us do that. I think he's going to be a bit of a superstar. Right-back has been a problem, I will admit. There's a shortage of good right backs who don't cost a lot of money, so I ended up having to go with this guy. He's not very good. 28-year-old Davin Wrench. He's okay. He'll do a job for us. Could play at centre back if he wasn't 5'10", but I'm happy with him as a defensive right back. I think he'll do for now. Next season, I think the budget needs to go towards a proper right back. And the final signing we've made at the moment is Harry Amas on loan from Manchester United. Again, we needed a right back. Sorry, a left back. Actually, this one is. We needed cover left back. He'll come in and do a decent job at left back for us, and that's all he needs to do. Now, in terms of outs, we did get some of the bigger players we wanted to get out through the club. Samuel Inning and Skelly and Gabrielle, they were all done before I got here. Louis Codrington has left. He is a new gen. Not interested in using him. We managed to get him out the door for £7.5 million, but that is £7.5 million of pure profit because he's a youngster, which is lovely. Calafiori then went to Napoli. He is... Just have a quick look. £27.5 million. Remember, Arsenal in real life actually only spent 3.3 million on him, so big profit made there. I didn't realise as much for a profit that we'd made. Just didn't look like he was going to be very good for us. I mean, well, how we wanted to play, but it looks like he has gotten a little bit better. He'd have been fine, but we managed to get those wages off the book, and that was kind of the main thing for me. He wasn't going to be earning them. Alan Varela, I would have kept him, but Barcelona came in with an offer, and it was one that we just couldn't refuse. I mean, yes, we made a loss on him, but he's not really set the world alight over 2 seasons. Let's just get rid of him. There's players ahead of him in his position anyway. Miran Yavuz, we've sent on loan to Derby. He's a youngster who could end up being something relatively special, although he is a striker with 10 finishing. Make your own jokes. Iglesias, you know about him going on loan. Benjamin White left them for 12 million, 12.5 million, I should say. Obviously, Arsenal originally signed him for 50. It is a loss. However, look at the amount of service that Arsenal got for him. It's quite a bit. I got in trouble with members of the squad for letting him go. I did promise I'd bring a right back in. I then brought Wrench in. The players are still not happy, or at least have not told me that they're happy now. So I think this could be one that causes us a few problems. But at 33 years old, as someone who can only really play as a fullback on support, what do you want me to do? Like, he had to go. I'm afraid he had to go at this point in the save. Lamar Rowan didn't really mean anything. He's alone, as is Zekovic John. Zekovic John does have a future fee potentially, though. And the final one that we've got at the moment is Samuel Lino. He's gone to Benfica for £80 million. Again, a loss has been made on him. It's one of those. We just have to take the hit on that one. So, as you can see, we spent about £274 million. We made around 126, so we have spent quite a bit. It does mean when we go to the finances, we are a little bit in the red, and we do have a decent amount of transfer debt. We were minus numbers on this one before, so obviously there's a lot of money that we're going to have to spend. But, I mean, that'll be over 3 years. It's fine. I'm sure we'll be able to make that up in no problem at all. I've got no concerns about that whatsoever. So that means the squad is looking like this. The defence is the only issue. Harto can get better in terms of his star rating, so don't worry about that one. He's good enough for right now. Saliba will maintain for a little while. We will have to replace him after a season or two. Wrench is literally just here for this season, and then we spend the majority of the budget on someone to replace him, and then a backup. Amas obviously will do as backup for now. So at the moment, we've got Saliba and Harto as the main defensive options. We then have got Sutalo and Sandrella, and then we've got a host of players, including Laskowski, who can play there as well. Left back, we've got Rigeri and we've got Harry Amas. Devane Wrench is obviously the starting right back, and then we have got, where is he? Tokic, although there's a host of players who can cover there as well. So defence is fine. Goalkeeper is a bit of an issue because we've just got Owusu Uduro and David Raya. If I can get some more cover in, that would be great. Midfield, I think we're stacked. We've got Declan Rice. His backup for the season is going to be, well, to be fair, Pavlovic can play there, Harto can play there, a bunch of players can play there, but it's going to be Mark Cotter, who is obviously going to grow with time. Havertz will be the playmaker to start with. He can be covered by Odegaard. He can be covered by... in fact, let's say Havertz is going to start. He's not necessarily because Odegaard's injured, but there's Havertz who can play there, Odegaard can play there, Rice could play there, Nwaneri can play there, Darvic can play there. We've still got Guendouzi, he can play that, and Alfie McRae can play there. Lots of cover in that position, and every single one of those players can also play in the Mazzala role, which at the moment, I'm giving Darvic the go-ahead to begin with. The ideal starting pairing in that midfield is probably going to be Havertz and Odegaard, but we'll see how the season goes, and then we've got the backup of obviously McRae and, well, Darvic as well. So that's the midfield three. Really solid midfield three. Saka and the wing, Martinelli on the wing. Obviously, that's Arsenal now. That's not changed much. We've got covering Nwaneri, and then we've got Fadil Simic, you'll see at the bottom there as well. He can do a decent job. And it's exactly the same on this side, although Darvic can play on the wing, so can Havertz. Tell, who's the striker, can play that. Odegaard could do a job as well. And then up front, we've got Tell, Martinelli, Nwaneri, Havertz. We do need a striker. I am in the middle of trying to sign a wonder kid who can be kind of an emergency backup as well. Right, I've gone through a lot there. In terms of players who I'm still trying to shift out, it's just Guendouzi really, but I'd be open to offers for Pavlovic as well. And really any players in the squad, as long as the value is good enough for us to bring someone in, I'd be relatively happy. In terms of work, it's mainly striker and another backup goalkeeper. That's all I really want, but I'm happy with what we've got to go with. Now, that's a long intro. Let's get into the game against Liverpool. The 11 we're going to go with for our very first Premier League game as Arsenal manager is Owusu Uduro in the goalkeeping position. Then we've got Wrench, Saliba, Harto and Rigeri as the defence. Rice, Havertz and Darvic are going to be the midfield three, with Saka and Martinelli supporting Tell up front. This is a big game. We've obviously not played any competitive football so far in this save, so we're going to see how the squad do, well, with me as the manager and with this configuration. Again, we did double check their formations last season. We couldn't see too much detail, but we can see from the fixture list of last season, they were predominantly 4-2-4, 4-2-3-1. I've not got any other formations trained. I've not got any other formations that I've had a look at. I've completely forgotten to do this. My microphone's also slightly in the way. Let me just... Apologies. My microphone was just in the way of the screen at the bottom where I can see these options down here. We obviously want to make sure that our assistant is doing this in the future. Enzo Maresca, who was one of our coaches at Wolverhampton Wanderers, he's come as our assistant manager this time. Obviously, he's a manager in real life. So we brought a lot of staff over from Wolves. So hopefully we've got a good kind of culture already at the club. And obviously we've signed Darvic. Didn't actually go in for any players who are current Wolves players at the moment. I was tempted by McKernan, but just the fact he doesn't like big games worries me when we're at a club like Arsenal where almost every other game is going to be some form of big game. But we are underway with our first game as Arsenal manager. This is going to be a learning experience more than anything. I am not necessarily expecting us to win this game. I think the first 4 games are going to be really, really tough. I think an away game against Liverpool to start isn't going to be the one, to be honest with you, where we can hang our hat on it and say that this is how we're going to be. But you never know. We could get lucky with it. Right, Darwich, Ruggieri, into Martinelli to Havertz, back to Darwich, chips it in, looking for Bakary Saka, who heads it just over. I tell you what, early signs of some good attacking play there. We obviously joined quite, not late in pre-season necessarily, but the planning period that you get just before July was obviously missed out, and we joined here on the 3rd of July. So we have had to kind of rush our scouting and everything, and we've had to be playing catch up a little bit, but I think we've done a relatively good job. And there is Captain Declan Rice, who makes it 1-0. Forget what I said before. We're looking pretty good so far, actually. I was a little bit worried about the early momentum that Liverpool had. It doesn't matter, actually, because here we go. Well, is it going to be a very good season? Hopefully it is. But Declan Rice gets the scraps from the corner, and it is 1-0. Methistel gets an assist as well. That's not what he's there to do. But as long as we score a goal, I don't really care. I was really labouring over whether Declan Rice was going to be playing as a defensive midfielder or a bit further forward, because I know in real life Arsenal like to use him a little bit further forward where they can. I think we've done the right thing in putting him defensively in FM. I think he definitely benefits as a defensive-minded player in FM. Not that he can't do the job going further forward, I think he can. I just think he's wasted a little bit because he's got so many good defensive attributes. It says so much that his kind of next best position after midfield is a centre-back, and if you play him as a centre-back, you wouldn't really notice that he's not... Yeah, you wouldn't notice that he's not meant to be a centre-back. He's absolutely fine there. By the way, one of their new gens has just scored. Sam Hogan, I believe his name is. I didn't quite catch his name there, but I had a quick look at him before the game, just while I was putting opposition instructions on. Arsenal do concede a goal here. I was going to say Arsenal do get an equaliser. We're Arsenal, of course. I need to get used to that. Arsenal do, of course, concede an equaliser. It is Liverpool who make it 1-1, and now we have to do all of the work again. I'm okay with the draw today. To be honest with you, this is a team, this Liverpool team, who are going to be a challenge at home. I'm not too worried about us if we don't win this game, but a good performance is imperative, and we've been showing signs of a good performance so far. I tell you what, Martinelli with a good chance there. Saka now gets it out to Harto. He's going to lose the ball here. He has. Now, and Talakos is someone I tried to sign at Wolves, and he joined Liverpool before I could get the chance to sign him for Arsenal. He was someone I had identified as a key signing because I wanted a new striker at Wolves, and unfortunately Liverpool got in there first. It'll be interesting to see how he does this season and what his value is like at the end of next season, because Methistel might end up going on the wing at some point, depending on how everyone else plays. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. Now, Ruggieri's not had a particularly good game. Neither has Wrench. I'm going to give those two the benefit of the doubt because, well, to be fair, most of the players in the squad are going to get the benefit of the doubt, although Kai Havertz is having a bit of a shocker. Darwich isn't doing badly. I'm okay with that. Declan Rice obviously inflated because of the goal. The winger's not doing particularly great so far, but Methistel again a little bit inflated because of the assist. So the question is, what do we do? Do we make any changes now, or do we keep at it with what we've got? I'm looking at Havertz and I'm thinking, do we bring him off? But I've only really got McCrane in one area. Neither of them are game changers. They're more just, you bring one of those guys on if you're already ahead. Same on the wings as well. So I don't know. I don't really know what the right thing to do with them is. I do want to take Havertz off. Or do we just try and find a way to get the best out of him a bit more? I've not done much in the way of instructions, so maybe we just have a look and see if there's anything that we can do. I mean, he's not a great ball carrier, so I'm going to ask him to dribble less. Do we get him to maybe drift out? I mean, his off-the-ball positioning is pretty good. His passing, obviously, we know is really good. I'm going to actually ask him to roam from position and just find better places to go. That feels like a smart thing to do. Darwich is obviously already doing that and is already having a decent game. I mean, do we change him maybe in some way? We could swap them around a little bit because Havertz was going to be my Mazzala until Odegaard's injury. So, do you know what? Let's swap them around. Let's give Darwich the ability to kind of roam around a little bit. And let's have Havertz do his thing as a Mazzala because he can do the job as a Mazzala. He can also do centre mid on attack as well. But we'll have him do Mazzala to begin with. Let's just see whether that change does anything. Hopefully it doesn't ruin everything. And we'll tell the other guys who are not having bad games just to carry on doing their thing, and let's get into the second half, shall we? We'll demand more from the boys. Let's see whether we can get another goal here and get ahead again. We have been on top in this game, so it's just a matter of trying to maintain what we've already got. Hopefully we can do that. I'd like to see Saka spring into life. We've not seen much from him so far. To be honest, the wings have been kind of our weakest areas. Through the middle looks like the kind of best area, although it looks like Liverpool are starting to have a bit more momentum, although we've had more chances. We've just not seen any in highlight form yet. I'm really hoping that we don't struggle with getting chances on target because it is looking that way at the moment. Corner to Liverpool. Gutierrez whipping it in. Konate's over it. Heads it just over. Got to be careful of that. Right. Time for changes because it's not necessarily going well in this second half. Now, Havertz, we've given him a chance. It's not really done a lot. So I am going to bring on Alfie McRae and we'll move Darwich back and we'll go with that plan. I don't really want to take Saka off because he is one of the best players at the club. Equally, though, he's not having a good game. So I'm trying to think of what the best thing to do with him will be. I don't necessarily know what the answer is. I put him as an inverted winger, but apparently he's better as a winger. So let's put him to wing. And let's have him do his thing. Maybe as a winger. Let's just give it a chance. Now, Martinelli, he had an early chance. He's not really done much since. Is there anything else we can do with him? Let's get him sitting narrower. That gives room for Ruggieri to kind of run into, and hopefully Ruggieri can do his thing as well. We want him to stay wide. In fact, we want him to run wide with the ball. Let's have him do that. Still learning here, obviously, in terms of what the best thing is for some of these players. Your crossing isn't particularly good, so we'll say cross less often for you. What's your dribbling like? Your dribbling is not too bad, so we'll say run wide with the ball for you as well. We'll just go with that. We'll just see whether those changes can help. Again, learning experience. We might change the formation at some point. I don't really want to do that with how much I did it last season, but I'm a bit worried about how much momentum that Liverpool have had. I haven't played that, probably be a good idea, wouldn't it? I'm a bit concerned with how much momentum Liverpool have had in this second half without reply. So we definitely need to do something. Maybe that is a spike of the start of it there. We're coming into the final kind of period for me to do substitutions that I like to do. I think we're going to have to make a few here. Liverpool have definitely come back into this game. We look like we're holding strong at the moment, but I think it's getting to that point where we're just going to have to accept we're not going to get out of this game what we want to. Right, I'm going to bring on Simic on the right-hand side. Wrench is going to come off for Tokic. I'm going to give Tokic a chance, even though obviously this is Liverpool. I mean, Ruggieri should come off on a yellow card on a 6.4. I'm going to keep him on because I'm a bit concerned about the idea of taking him off in this game. And then the only other striker I've got at the moment is Eamon Waters, who's a 2-star striker. I'm not bringing him on. I don't really have any other changes that I want to make. I'm just looking at fitness. I don't really want to take Darwich off again. I don't really have anyone other than Waneri. Doesn't like big games though, so I'm bringing him on against Liverpool at Anfield. That feels like a bit of a silly one. We'll just make those two changes. There's no point making changes for the sake of it. If we still had Odegaard available, but obviously not injured, then I would bring him on probably at this point. He'd probably have started, to be honest. He'd have started instead of Havertz. Lucky there on Liverpool with the chance, but it does go over from the free kick. Wirtz has been a very good player here for them today. I'm just going to go attacking for the final few minutes. Let's just see whether we can just push past them. They have taken over the game though. It is at Anfield again. This is an away from home game. We've done well here. I'm not unhappy with what I've seen for the first proper game that we've had. We've avoided defeat against a team who have still got Arne Slot in charge and have really been settled for quite some time. I will take that. And I will say I'm disappointed just because obviously we are Arsenal. We did come second last season, but I will take that to begin with. That could have been a lot worse, and I'm happy, but we need to see a little bit more from us in terms of chances. We do need to see a little bit more from us. Now, the only thing I will say is with this tactic, I've gone a little bit more, I'm not going to say tiki-taka, but we definitely are passing the ball around a little bit slower than I have been with Wolves because I feel like we've got the quality to kick the ball better. So maybe we need to find a way to just deliver the ball a bit better. Now, in terms of you prefer to throw. We didn't do anything with you, so we'll change you to roll it out. I think these are all going to be absolutely fine to what I want to do. So I don't know, maybe do we up the pace a little bit, or do we up the passing directness? Maybe the directness is what we need to do. Be a little bit more direct, and we go with that. Again, though, it's not bad. It's not the end of the world. And, you know, as our reward for getting a draw against Liverpool at Anfield, we now have a visit of Manchester City. Because, again, the football manager gods seem to hate us. Time for the game against Manchester City, who themselves had a really difficult opening game against their biggest local rivals, Manchester United. So they had a fun one, but they did get a draw just like we did. So this is going to be the race who can get their first win of the season, I should say. So this is the 11 that we're going with. I have made one change, but just to go through the squad, just so I can get used to saying the names, it is Owusu Oduro in goal. My goodness me. Owusu Oduro in goal. We've then got Wrench, Saliba, Hato and Vigeri in defence, Rice, Odegaard and Darvic in the middle, with Saka and Martinelli again supporting Tel up front. Yes, Odegaard is the guy who's come in. Darvic will keep his place. And we're hoping to see a bit more from Saka and Martinelli, hopefully being on home side we will. And also Rigeri as well. A little bit disappointed by Rigeri in the last game. I'm hoping for a little bit more from him. If we have to put him on to complete wing back, we will, but we'll stick with it for the time being and then start to make changes. I have made a couple though. We have got a little bit more direct. I think you saw that before as well, so we'll see what happens. Now, I haven't got us playing for set pieces, but actually we have got good set piece takers in there, so let's go for it and let's just see if it makes a difference. But here we are at home. We are against, again, a very, very good team. The team who I believe finished third in the league last season. So we need to take them very seriously. Managed by Eddie Howe in this universe in the year of our Lord 2030. So it'll be interesting to see whether we can get past them. They have been a difficult team when we played as Wolves against them. So it'll be very, very be a curious battle to have, a very curious battle, but they've still got some very recognisable names, including Erling Haaland and Phil Foden. They've also added Pedri and Tchouameni into their midfield. Again, you've seen this before from when we played at Wolves, so I don't know why I feel the need to highlight it now, but I do, so there we go. Right, underway we go. Let's see whether we can get past Manchester City. Obviously, one of the bigger teams in the league, similarly to Liverpool. These two games are early on. We're not going to draw too much from them, but equally, if we can't do much against either of them, we may need to rethink our strategy against bigger teams, because obviously most of the teams in the league we are going to be better than, but these are two teams who it is arguable as to whether we are or not. However, if Mathis Tel is going to do things like that, I don't think I need to worry. It's 1-0 in the 90th minute. And it's interesting, it's a counter-attack where we get the goal. That is a very, very interesting thing to bear in mind. And it's come down this side. Saka with the assist as well. Not necessarily a marauding run followed by a cross from him. It's a through ball, and that will do for me just absolutely fine. And that means it is, in fact, 1-0, and I will take that. Now, what's interesting is, I think one of the defenders must have got a touch on it because it didn't come as an assist for Saka, which I think is a little bit harsh. Tel's header does go wide, almost claimed by Rice. Martinelli now loses the ball to Haaland, and the ball comes all the way back to our defence, but Rigeri claims it. Right, Rigeri into Declan Rice. Declan goes out wide to Wrench, into Odegaard, into Saka. Saka now with the ball at his feet for the first time. Lovely movement, gets the shot away, wins us a corner. Much better from Saka in the opening of this game. Martinelli with the corner now, looking to whip it in, looking for the head of Saliba. Finds it, hits the crossbar. Very good opening from us. Really liking what I'm seeing so far. Let's keep it up. Right, Saliba. Really nice to see us use Saliba today. I've not actually used him previously, so it's good to actually... again, I've not really used Arsenal at all. I have done like a very, very quick, like just about an hour-long transfer window with them at the beginning of a save. Tau gets a second there. Noah Darvic opens up his assist count for the season. 2-0, 15 minutes, happy days. I've not really used Arsenal, and I've not used many, if any, of the players at Arsenal in this. I'd say this year's FM. It's now last year's FM. I'm not going to go into that can of worms again. But yeah, I've not really used many of the players. So it's interesting to me to actually get to use them just before they completely drop off of their prime. Obviously, the likes of Rice, Odegaard, Martinelli, Saka, they're either at Saliba as well, and also Kai Havertz, who, by the way, I have placed on the transfer list because I've been on the fence about whether I wanted to keep him or not, and there are Saudi clubs interested in him, so I'm just going to give it a go. It's cool to be able to use them kind of either at their peak or just at the point where they're dropping off their peak. And it's going to be good to see just how much of a good team we can build around them, along with the real players who have entered their prime, who Arsenal have signed either through us or throughout the save, like the players like Owusu Oduro, Ruggieri, Harto, Tell, those players. I mean, Darvic as well, even though he's probably the least kind of well-known on that list. We've had a very good start here, and this makes me much happier about what we're going to look at going forward. Although, again, Saka not having a great half. Maybe we do need to switch him to winger. As a left footer, I was just assuming he'd prefer to cut inside. Maybe he doesn't. Saliba makes it 3, though. And all of a sudden, it's offside, I think. The flag is up. Most of the time when the flag is up, I'm pretty sure this will be given offside. Most of the time the flag goes up. It's kind of like the hands raised thing. One indicates the other. Hands raised, goal. Flag up, no goal. Simple as that. It's a shame because it's not Saliba who's offside. It's actually, I'm assuming that's Methis Tell. So we have missed out there a little bit. Saka's rating has just dramatically jumped up, though. I think, was it his corner that was delivered? I'm not sure, but it has jumped up. I am still going to make the change to him tactically, just to see whether we can maintain a bit more of a steady rating on him. Let's change him to a winger on. I'm going to keep him on attack. We'll keep him out there. And I do want him to cut inside, if I'm honest. I do want him to cut inside because I think he is going to be more effective being inside everyone rather than outside of it. I don't want to isolate him with his many, many talents because he is just a deadly player. Great finishing, great long shots. Like, we don't want him stuck out on the wing if we can help it. But that's the only change I'm going to make because everything is going swimmingly. It's 2-0. You could argue it should be 3-0. Personally, I think it should be 3-0 because that player did not touch the ball. I know what the rules are. I don't care, though. I still think it should be 3-0, and you're not going to convince me otherwise. Right, we'll just tell everyone just to keep doing what they're doing, and we'll go again. Very, very content with what we've had so far. Very content indeed. More of the same, please. Right, corner, Martinelli. Harto flicks it on, looking for Saliba. Nearly great work from the centre-backs there to get a goal. We're just very unlucky that Saliba couldn't find the target. But Harto, with the little flick on, didn't go for glory. Decided to try and work as a team player there. What's his teamwork? Is it really, really high? It's not even that high, it's 14. I'm very surprised at that, but it was a lovely little flick on that he had. Right, no more highlights so far. I'm quite content with the 2-0 win, but I'd like a 3-0. That'd be even better. Saka has more or less maintained his ratings. Martinelli's dropped just underneath a 7. That's fine, I'm not against that, but we're getting into the period where I think we need a goal just to completely take control of the game. 2-0 is a dangerous scoreline. You know my feelings on a 2-0 score. Erling Haaland would have scored there. I'm sorry, that would have been outrageous. Right, time for substitutions. Declan Rice has actually not had the best of games today, so I'm going to bring on Marcotta and give him some football in that half-back role. I'm going to ignore Declan Rice's existence for the time being, although he is basically our emergency striker today. He is not coming on. So, Martin is going to come off for Nwaneri. Let's bring him on. Give him some football out on the wing. The defence have not had the best of games today. I'm going to bring on Satalo for Saliba and give him a bit of a run out, but I'm going to leave the fullbacks as they are. What I am going to do is I'm going to change Wrench to a fullback on support because, again, he is a much more defensive player, so let's play to that a little bit and let's just make sure that he... we're trying to play to his strengths a little bit more, whereas Ruggieri is more of an attacking option, so we'll keep him doing what he's doing and he'll just have to get better as time goes on. Right, another highlight to Manchester City. Getting a little bit concerned about how many of these we are starting to get. Right, ball cleared out. Only as far as Rodri, though. Rodri into the middle. Odegaard intercepts beautifully, though. But he needs players running. They are starting to run now. Ball out wide to Saka. Saka cuts inside. Loses the ball, though. That's annoying. Right, ball to Haaland, Tchouaméni, Angelo. Here come Manchester City sweeping forward into Haaland. It's 2-1. That's what I'm on about. We had to get that third goal to make ourselves feel a little bit more secure, and we've let them get a goal back, and now we're going to potentially start to panic a little bit. Hopefully the mentality of this squad of winners doesn't let us do that. Right, Haaland clears it only as far as Wrench, who he's going to hopefully get someone creative. Into Odegaard, he does indeed. Into Harto now. Over to Ruggieri. Let's see a bit more from Ruggieri if possible. He's kind of going backwards here, though. Back to the goalkeeper, Owusu Oduro. into McCarter now, into Wrench. Oh, he's just got around his player there, into Saka. Right, let's see something from Saka, shall we? Cuts over into Odegaard. He's been fouled there, surely. We've kept the ball low. Right, Saka now, into Satalo. Saka. Looks to do it all himself here, into Darvic. Darvic into Tell. I think this is going to be offside. It is a hat-trick, but it's going to be a disallowed hat-trick. The flag went up. He looked offside to me, unless the game wants to tell me differently. I want to see those hands raised, but they are not raising. It is disallowed, and it is remaining 2-1. 2 disallowed goals here. I mean, the movement's great, but just mistimed run from Tell. So unfortunate. And Darvic was obviously excited to see the run, but obviously perhaps should have just held off a little bit. Both of them really should have held off there. Right, final change. Rigeri has not had a good game, so I'm going to be on Harry Amas, just purely because we need to make a change there, I think. And we need to have a look at these fullbacks and work out how to get the best out of them. Wrench has actually gotten worse as the game has gone on, so I'm going to change him back to wing back on support. And then for my final trick, I'm looking at the fitness of the forward line. I am thinking either McCareer or Havertz. Havertz is the better player, but I trust McCareer more from what I've seen in pre-season. Darvic has looked good though, and so has Odegaard. So the problem is I don't really want to make the change, but I'm just thinking for fitness. So maybe Odegaard has had that knock. We'll bring on McCareer for him and just bring him on for fitness more than anything, and then we'll just see whether we can either see the game out or sneak another goal. One or the other would be absolutely fine. Let's put my water bottle down there so I can see more of the screen. Right, demand more from the boys. Let's just try and push on in these final few minutes. Get a third and just cement it, or just keep what we've got. I'm quite content with keeping what we've got, but it's a free kick here. Savio to take. He's gone for a worldie, but Oduro holds onto it beautifully. Right, let's get this ball out and let's try and launch a bit of a, not necessarily a counter-attack, but an attack of some kind. I don't really like how Haaland was lurking there. Right, Harto, don't go back to the keeper. Oh, he's gone back to the keeper. Right, Satalo, don't make any mistakes here, lads. Right, that wasn't so much a mistake, but Man City did intercept it quite well. I'm not liking this at all. Savio, Satalo clears it. Right, Saka keeps it in. Just launch it. No, it goes back to McCareer. That's fine. McCareer launches it to Amas. That's more like it. And Amas now can run down this line. We didn't really see Rigeri do much of that. Bolton Waneri now. Waneri gives the ball away, but we do keep it. Right, Amas keeps the ball here. Good work from Amas so far. Ball in, gets it to Waneri, gives the ball away, and it's a huge defensive error. And Mathis-Tel, sorry, I keep calling him Mathis-Tel. Mathis-Tel gets himself a hat-trick in the first home game of the season against Manchester City. This is a huge marker to put down. I was hopeful that we could get a good result here, but to actually see it play out, oh my word, and that is poor from Lewis. Rico Lewis should be having a word with himself there, because that is all on him. But Amas did a great job here. I mean, the pass, it has to be said, wasn't particularly good. Lewis kind of let himself down there, and Lewis gets in the way of it and just ends up passing it to Mathis-Tel for his hat-trick. Amas whipping it in here, looking for Bukayo Saka, cannot get there. Savio now, looking to launch it forward. He's going to launch forward, but only Satalo will get it. Into Wrench now. Wrench getting the ball to Saka, starting to look a bit better. Into Tell. Tell gets the shot away and wins a corner. Bit better from Saka, bit better from Wrench as well. Wrench has actually shot up to a 7.4, so he is definitely a wing back on support. We've discovered that. Right, we're into added time. Saka with the corner, looking for the header. Satalo cannot find him. Trying to get the ball here. Saka now, going to cut inside, looking for a shot. No, he gives the ball away. We get the ball back though, actually. Saka, again, looking to do something. Saka again. Saka, he's gone down here. Is the referee interested? No, referee's not interested at all. Second time Saka's gone down today. No penalty, but another throw into us. And we're going to get another highlight, but we give it away here. And the ball is going to end up with Erling Haaland. And now we need to try and get the ball off of him. Oh, Satalo bullies him. I was thinking of selling Satalo. He's a hero. Right, Darvic gives the ball away. But it's a really, really weird ball that just doesn't lead to anything. Amas is going to get the ball here. I'm just kind of happy if he launches it. He goes to Harto, back to Amas here. Harto didn't do him any favours there at all. Goes back to Oduro, who is going to go to Satalo here, who, touch wood, has been a safe pair of hands in this game since he's come on as defenders go. Right, Saka now gets the ball from McCareer, running into Darvic. Darvic looking for the run of someone. Who's going to go for it? He went for it. I'm quite happy for him to go for it, to be fair. He's had a decent game, Noah Darvic. Good to see it. Very good to see it. That is terrible from their goalkeeper. Saka just absolutely bullying Manchester City there. Sotalo now looking for someone to give the ball to. Gets it to McRae, into Wrench, looking for Darvic, couldn't quite get the header away. Marcotta into Waneri, goes out wide to Amas. Amas, very impressive on his debut here. Ball into Methistel. Methistel has looked like a lethal striker here today. Really impressed with the work he's put in to get his hat-trick. And he's still going. Right, Saka with the corner. Gonna go and try and whip this in. He does whip it in, but the Manchester City goalkeeper Brits does hold on to it. That has got to be it, I'm imagining. That has got to be game. It is game. And we do open our accounts in terms of wins for the season with a 3-1 drubbing of Manchester City. We did look a little bit wobbly when we went to 2-1, but really we were never overly in trouble. Now, there's some performances we still need to work out in some of our players. Ruggieri is the biggest one that jumps out, but overall, I'm really happy with that as a start. If you'd have told me Liverpool away, Manchester City at home, if you'd have told me 4 points from those two games, I'd have been delighted, absolutely delighted. So I will take that and I will run with it. And a Methistel hat-trick is exactly what it was, with 2 disallowed goals as well, one of which was also from Methistel. That'll do. That'll do plenty. Right, now, what are we going to do next? We are going to come back around Champions League, of course, because really, we need to talk about the aims of the save, really. So, the biggest aim for the save is the Champions League, winning it once, and then we want to try and win it 3 times, including that with 3 separate clubs. So, really, the aim of the save now that we won the Premier League and the FA Cup, and the Carabao Cup, is to win the Champions League. So that is the kind of forward aim. So we will be coming back for Champions League, and we'll throw in a Premier League game as well. It's a bit soon, but I'm looking at the game against Wolves at Molineux because I'm a glutton for punishment. I'll have a think about that. We'll see how the fixtures lie, but that would be a fun one to come back to, and probably end up crying over when we get beat by my former club. But that is going to do it for today's video. Probably been a bit of a longer one than the first episode of the season normally would, but obviously we had some transfer business to go over. So hopefully you're stuck with me, and hopefully you'll look forward to the next episode. But thank you very much for watching, and yeah. Oh, I've stuffed that bit up. Absolute glutton for punishment, but we'll see where the fixtures lie and we'll make a decision on that. But that is a choice for the next video. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed today's first episode with Arsenal, then don't forget to leave a like on the video for me. I know you can only leave one, but I'm putting 2 thumbs up just because. And do not forget to hit the subscribe button if you want to catch up with the rest of the saves so far and want to see all of it in the future. I've been Stu, you guys have been awesome, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.